Alright, so in this video, I compare the YuLong with the GuanLong. Let's watch. Alright, so here we have the GuanLong. I picked this cube up on speedcubeshop.com for $3.99. It's 56 millimeters and it was released October 13th, 2014. So out of the gate, I will make mention that this plastic is see-through. I'm not a fan of it. It's not intended to be see-through, but it's just how cheap and thin this plastic really is. So you can already see, like, so the colors bleed through there. I don't like that. It's also a very lightweight puzzle. Not light in the good way, meaning like it isn't like a GANs where it's going to be really lightweight, but it's very high quality. This is very light, and you can tell it's just a cheap budget puzzle. So for this puzzle in particular, I decided to loosen the tensions up. I actually gave every single side a half turn. So what that did is it did loosen up the piece separation. So for my previous unboxing, the piece separation was very hard to separate. So for this puzzle now, loosening the tensions has kind of solved that problem. However, I do run the risk of these edge pieces popping out more frequently. So my initial reaction said this puzzle was really difficult to corner cut. Nothing's really changed. I'm probably at about like that. Yeah, right there. That's about it. That's the sweet spot for this puzzle, and that's hard to even do. So this is probably one of the worst corner cutting puzzles that I've ever had, aside from like maybe like an original Rubik's Cube. So even with the adjustments and the tensions, it still didn't seem to improve the puzzle. So to get a better look at this puzzle all around, let's go ahead and take a look inside. Alright, so out of the gate, you'll notice that this core is a very basic core. Nothing special, very, very low-end core. Moving on to the corner pieces. These corner pieces are actually made up of 3 individual parts. You can actually see that right here, breaking it apart. Pretty easy to disassemble and kind of get back together. So I understand from a budget standpoint that it's very cost effective to do this. However, the problem that I come across when I'm solving this puzzle is that these pieces tend to separate a bit when they're worked through. So the corner stock also is very bulky and also very short. Additionally, it's also part of the same corner piece. So the same problems that I have with it separating up here, it separates down here too. So I'm even squeezing it here and you can even see it's hard to separate. One thing to make note of as well is that on all sides of this corner, there are no slots. So really it's just plastic on plastic. All right, let's go into the edge. All right, so the edge pieces here, obviously made up of 2 parts, so you can easily pull these apart. Again, for the same reasons why I don't like the corner stock, is that when you're solving this puzzle, these pieces do tend to separate. And again, with the edge stock, you're also finding the same issues of them separating. This is kind of a wonky piece. Also, you can tell that you can even see there's a gap right there. The problem I'm also facing with these, they're not very well sanded down. There's a lot of friction that shouldn't be there. And just like the corner piece, there are no slots. When you're putting these together, it is literally plastic on plastic. All right, so now that it's all back together, I want to give you my final assessment. So overall, I really can't say that the puzzle improved, even with a cleaning and a tension adjustment. It kind of loosened up, it allowed the pieces to, separate more easily. Corner cutting didn't seem to improve. I will say that sandpaper feel went away after a few solves, and that pretty much happened naturally. So with that initial, sandpaper feel that I had, that doesn't really exist anymore. For the price, you really can't argue with it. For $3.99, you really can't go wrong with that. As far as a beginner's puzzle go, this is definitely a solid beginner puzzle. So if you're cubing on a budget, I'd say buy it. So for my rating on this puzzle, I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10, and that's considering all the elements. The extreme budget puzzle, even like loosening up the tensions, how it feels now. I can't get past the corner cutting. That just disappoints me. There you have it. Let's move on. All right, so the next puzzle I have here is the YuLong. I got this on Amazon, but you can actually get it on the Cubicle for $7.99. It's 56 millimeters, and the release date was January 6, 2014. So from first glance, the plastic on this puzzle is actually thicker than the GuanLong, so you can also tell that when the light is reflecting off it, you can't see the orange as easily through that. Obviously, the orange you're seeing is a reflection from that, but it is a thicker puzzle. It also feels like it's a thicker puzzle, so it's much heavier. And when I mean much heavier, it's probably like a gram heavier. Just like the GuanLong, I also decided to loosen the tensions by a half turn. And what that did for the piece separation is that it made it a much better puzzle to separate. Initially, the corner cutting was terrible. That didn't really seem to improve. However, it's a little bit better than the GuanLong, but still that sweet spot's gonna be right about there. You're not gonna really get much more out of it. So to kind of get a better look at this puzzle, let's go ahead and take a look inside. All right, so to start with this, the core of this puzzle is almost identical, if not identical, to the GuanLong. So again, you're getting a budget core no matter what. Either one of these puzzles is just the same type of core. Going into the corner pieces, you have kind of a similar looking corner. So the only difference you have to the corner pieces is that on each of these sides you have a triangle shaped slot. So just like the GuanLong, you have a corner piece that's made up of 3 different pieces. You can pull that apart like this. There is this little centerpiece that is kind of adding to the weight. I suppose the intention is to add more stability, or maybe just to make it easier for these pieces to stay together, which it does. It does hold it together a little bit better. But again, just the same problem I had is that with the corner stock is that it is short and bulky, and it is made up of the same 3 pieces as the corner piece. Something to make note is that the edges on this corner piece are smoothed out better. And I guess the intention was that this was going to add a little bit more maneuverability to the corner, which I don't really experience. So yeah. So as far as the edge pieces go, same type of idea. You have a little slot right here built into it. I'm not really sure if that's going to improve the overall puzzle flow. I haven't seen an improvement yet, but just like the GuanLong, it's made up of 2 pieces. This does not have a centerpiece within the core of the edge. And again, the edge stock is made up of the same pieces the edge piece is made of. Again, like the corner piece, I also made note that it is smoothed out a little bit better, but it's not really that much to make note of. Again, you have these little dents in the sides. So yeah, so not much of an upgrade right there. All right, let's get this back together. All right, so now that it's all back together, let's do my final assessment. So overall, the puzzle slightly improved, with the cleaning and modification. I would probably never use this puzzle in an actual solve, because I have too many other puzzles I could turn to. However, if I was cubing on a budget and needed a puzzle to practice on, this would not be a puzzle to buy. The reason why I say that is for the price. I would say save $1 and go with an MF3RS. If you want to spend an extra $1, I'd say buy the Thunderclap version too. This puzzle's really hard to corner cut, forces you to make complete turns. This is a puzzle you'd be learning to solve with, versus learning to solve fast with. So as far as overall rating goes, I give this puzzle a 4.5 out of 10. The reason why I give it a 4.5 is because for $7.99, you can get so many better puzzles. And for the fact that it virtually has the same functionality as a GuanLong, get the GuanLong for $3.99. Sure, it feels a little bit cheaper, but is the thicker plastic really worth $4? That's my assessment. All right, so I hope you like my comparison of these 2 cubes. They're both, in my opinion, considered budget puzzles. Obviously, one's $3.99 and the other is $7.99, so it's kind of hard to, compare the 2 equally. Given that my final assessment is to go with the YJ GuanLong if you had to go with a budget puzzle, I think, again, this puzzle does fare better for the price, especially. So let me know your thoughts. If you found this video helpful, give me a like. Also, comment your thoughts. And if you want to see more videos and more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. All right, so until next time, happy cubing.